All right, are we ready to start cooking? I'm gonna share it on the recipe site page because I shared it there and we're kind of connected together and I love all my Belief family. So I'm gonna share it there real quick. Also, while you can get your ingredients or start preheating your oven, I preheated mine to 350. We're gonna start with the cheesecake first because that's one of my favorites. And then while that's cooking, we'll work on our chickpea cinnamon rolls. So let me find this video so I can share it. All right. It's a beautiful spring day here in Minnesota. We had some rain finally, and now the sunshine is out. It's just so fun. Here we go. Okay, we got it going on the recipe site. There we go. We are connected. So we're gonna cook out of my Cooking with Joy biggest cookbook. Now you can comment while we're cooking and let me know if you have questions or if you want to know some things or if you just have suggestions that would make my life easier, make cooking easier. That'd be awesome. Let's cook together. I want to hear your input. So we're gonna be cooking out of this. You can find these recipes in my single volumes also. I have them right behind me. I know the yogurt cheesecake is in volume 2, and I think the chickpea cinnamon rolls are in volume 2 also. Hello, Serena from Greece. It's so fun to have you here in Minnesota, USA. So fun to have Greece here. Hi, Sharon from Holland and Greece. So fun to have you girls here. Well, we're gonna start cooking. I'm just gonna turn this volume off because we can hear it. Okay, so we're gonna go to the yogurt cheesecake first, which is page 173 of the big cookbook, or it's in my volume 2 cookbook, or you can just cook along with me. Hi Michelle, thanks for joining. So what we're going to need, we're gonna start with preheating our oven. I already started my oven on. Oh, from Long Island, New York, so glad to have you here. Hi Amy from Southwest Minnesota. Hi state neighbor. Hi Wendy from Luxembourg. It's so fun having all these Blee friends from around the world. It's just, you get to travel without even going anywhere. It's so fun. Okay, so we preheated our oven to 350. It's heating up right now, which will give us perfect time to start on our crust and have that cooking. So we're going to get a bowl out and we're going to do our chickpea crust. And it's really yummy because it's a little bit soft, but yet it just gives you the little bit of satisfaction of having something underneath the yogurt. Judy, hi from Chicago suburbs. Hi Chicago. Okay, so we're going to get our can of chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you can find. They're the same thing. They just have 2 different names. And I'm just going to drain out the juice. You don't have to rinse these, but you can. So I'm just going to drain out the juice here. I haven't really found a difference from rinsing the chickpeas or just not rinsing them. Draining it, of course, but not rinsing them. It gives the same texture, same flavor. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of chickpeas. So I have my scale here. And I have my bowl, and we zeroed our scale, put the bowl on, zeroed the scale. So now we're going to do 1.5 ounces of chickpeas. Because we want 1/4 of a protein. 1.5. Then we're going to take our little hand blender, or they call it an immersion blender. Maureen, hi from Scottsdale, Scotia, Canada, hi. Oh, and my mom's on from down the hall in her bedroom. That's her office. Hi, Mom. This time she knows I'm going live because I think the last couple of times she's accidentally tripped or come in the room and was going to ask me a question. But that's what you get when it's going live. It makes it exciting. All right, so we're going to take our hand blender or immersion blender. You can use a other just regular blender or a fork if you want, but to get like the best texture, I've used this. I haven't tried just a regular blender, but you sure can. So we're gonna blend these, make them nice and soft, because we don't want anything right. Yep, just the chickpeas, and we're gonna blend that. Whoa! A little too high powered, but you got chickpeas everywhere. These chickpeas are a little dry. That's okay. I'm gonna grab a spoon real quick. So if you just tuned in, we're making yogurt cheesecake, and we're starting with our crust. And we're getting our chickpeas, our nice chickpea crust here going. Okay, so we got our chickpeas nice and blended. Now these, for some reason, turned out a little dry. See the mixture? Hi, Maureen. You found us! Yay, I'm so glad. Oh, my mom said she promised to stay in her room. You don't have to stay in your room. You can come out of your room if you want to join us, Mom. It's okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why it turned out a little grainy, but it'll be fine once we get our banana mashed in there. So now we're going to do 1 ounce banana. So we're going to zero our scale. I'm going to grab a banana. Oh, Life Unbinged. Hi, Christy. I'm so excited that you've taken over the Blee official Facebook page today, because I just love seeing your posts. I love that you're a homeschooling mom. Me and my 2 siblings were homeschooled all growing up, all the way through high school, and we loved it. So it's just so fun to see it from a mom's perspective of homeschooling other kids. So it's just so fun. Thanks for being here. Sharon, hello from Israel. Hi, Sharon from Israel. Oh, and Maureen's from Massachusetts. Oh, and thanks, Mom. She said I look so cute. Thanks, Mom. Let's see. Oh, Gail is from Florida. Hi, Gail from Florida. I'm going to put my computer over here so I can see the recipe site, because y'all are with us too. Okay, so I'm grabbing a banana. I got sidetracked. So I have a banana, so we're going to do 1 ounce of banana in with our chickpeas. Just want to make sure we get this right. Yes, 1 ounce of banana. 9. There we go, 1 ounce. So now we're going to mash this together. I'm going to grab a fork, because that's my favorite thing to mash things together with. Grab a fork here. And we're just going to mash this all together and get it nice and smooshed. This is our workout for the day. Especially if you have a very green banana, that's a workout. But the riper your banana, the sweeter your mixture and bake is going to be. So I try to pick the ripest bananas when I cook or bake things. That's looking more like a crust. So here we got it all mixed together. Oh, hi, Cindy. Aw, thank you. Okay. So now I have my little baking dish. I got this at a thrift store, because whenever I go to like thrift stores or stores, now all I look for is little baking things, because it's so fun. I'm not sure how big this is. Oh, 2 3/4 cup Corningware. I have no clue. So this is just a little baking dish. You can use a little little pie dish, or even like a bread. What do they call those? A bread pan. You could use one of those. That would be about the same size. So we're going to lightly oil this. I have some spray olive oil. Then we're going to scoop our mixture into this little baking dish. Spilling everywhere. Hi, Brittany. Brittany's watching. So glad to have you here. All right, so we're going to scoop our crust mixture into our lightly oiled dish. And you're going to want to press it into the bottom to make your crust. Whoa. I almost dropped that. That was a good catch. Lois. Hi, Lois. So glad to have you here. I'm going to take my fork and just smush it a little bit more. Now this crust doesn't get crispy because I've never gotten it to get crispy, but it does taste really good. So here's what it should look like in the bottom of your dish. Then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt because I really like salted things. Salt's like one of my favorite spices now. Just a little bit. And then a little bit of cinnamon. And if you want a little bit of a pie taste or a really good mixture, I'm going to do a little pinch of nutmeg on my crust also. It turns out really good with the cinnamon. And you get just a little bit of that nutmeg taste when you bite into your yogurt bake at the end. So it should look like this. So now I'm going to throw this in the oven, and it's going to cook about 10 minutes. You can cook it like 10 to 15 minutes or a little bit longer, depending on how you want your crust, because it won't burn when you put your yogurt on top. Linda, hi Linda. Hi Karen, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm going to throw this in the oven right there, and then we'll be back to make our yogurt mixture. So I'm going to cook my crust for 15 minutes because I think it'll take about that long to make our little yogurt mixture to put on top. So we're going to take our bowl. You can use the same bowl as your crust because it's pretty clean, and if you get a little chickpea in there, that's okay because it's all going to go together anyways. So now we're going to take our fork and some mussel, and we're going to put the rest together. You don't have to blend it. It works the same without blending it. You can use a hand blender, but blended fruit is a little bit frowned upon or not really BLE compliant, so you can just use a fork and it works just fine. What temperature? I have it preheated at 350 right now, so it's baking at 350 in the oven. Okay, so we're going to get 4 ounces banana. So I'm going to modify this recipe a little bit. I experimented one time. I was making some for my sister and mom for our lunch, and I did 3 ounces banana because we were short on bananas, and then I did a little bit of frozen fruit just in there and baked it. It was so good because it got that raspberry or strawberry flavor, because I've done it a couple times now and it was really good. So I'm going to do 3 ounces banana and 1 ounce frozen strawberries. You could use any frozen fruit. Frozen blueberries would be really good. Frozen blackberries would be good. But we're going to do 3 ounces banana. Or you could do it like the recipe says, where you do 4 ounces banana, and that's really good too. Both ways are really good. Alright, so we want a total of 4 ounces fruit. 4, perfect. So now I'm going to mash up my banana. It's easier to mash the banana when you don't have the other ingredients in the bowl than if you wait until you get everything else in there and then you're trying to find your banana in your mixture. It kind of runs away from you as you're trying to mash it. So we have our mashed banana. Then we're going to add an ounce of cream cheese. I've done it without the cream cheese and it's tasted just fine. Mary, you're welcome. So glad to have you here. I wasn't even planning on doing this yogurt cheesecake recipe, but on my last cooking video, Marcy Decker, she requested, because I asked, what recipes do you want to see? And she said, can you make one of your yogurt cheesecake things? And I'm like, yes, I can make a yogurt cheesecake. So we're going to do 1 ounce of cream cheese. You can skip this and have a fat on the side, or use cream cheese if you want. You could even use ricotta cheese. I've done that and that's really good. You would do 2 ounces of ricotta cheese for a fat. Now I have whipped cream cheese. You could use regular cream cheese, whatever you have in your fridge, if you have it. Because it turns out about the same. We want 1 ounce. There we go. Then we're going to do 2 ounces of plain Greek yogurt. Or if you are plant-based or you have a dairy intolerance, you can use any kind of yogurt you want. My favorite is the Greek yogurt because it's the creamiest texture for me. I really like it. So we're going to do 2 ounces Greek yogurt. 1.9, 2. Okay. Then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm going to grab a tablespoon. Oh, my scale changed on me. There we go. 1 tablespoon, or you could do about a splash. It doesn't have to be exact with the lemon juice. Patty said she makes this every week. She had it twice this week. She zests some lemon on it for an extra lemony punch. Ooh, that sounds really good. I did make a lemon cheesecake, a lemon blueberry cheesecake, and I had lemon extract. If you ever get that stuff, it's a little bit potent. So just like a tiny splash, and it made it so lemony. And then I did 2 ounces of lemon juice in it. That was really good. But the lemon zest, that's a good idea. And I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Danae is here from Mexico. Hi from Mexico. So fun having you here. Okay, so we got our lemon juice. Now we're going to do a splash of vanilla extract. And then we're going to do an egg. I have farm eggs, and sometimes they're really wonky sizes. Sometimes they're really small or really big. So what you can do is you can either just do 1 egg, whatever gives you peace, or you can measure it, and 1 egg should be about 2 ounces. So if there's like a really small egg, sometimes I'll add another until it's about 2 ounces. Dawn Childress. Can't wait to try this recipe myself. You're going to really like this. It's totally guilt-free. The first time I made it, my mom was like, oh my goodness, cheesecake, I'm so excited. And then she thought, uh-oh, is this going to trigger or be a binge food, or it's going to be like too sweet? But it was perfect. After you finish it, you're like, I'm really well satisfied, and you're good. Like, it doesn't cause triggering for me. It might cause for others, which is fine. Don't make this then. That's okay. Okay, so we got our egg, our cream cheese, Greek yogurt, banana, lemon juice. So now we're going to mix this together. You can use a fork or you could use a blender, but I don't recommend using the blender. And I put the strawberries in there too, so they're whole and frozen. But once they cook, it'll be a really nice mixture. And hopefully our crust will be done. Let's check the time on that. 8 minutes left. We're going to mix this really good, get all the hunks to be mixed together. Kathy's watching from Texas. Hi in sunny Texas. Julie, how much yogurt and lemon juice? It's 2 ounces plain Greek yogurt, and I did 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then there's an ounce of cream cheese in this also. You can leave that out completely, or you could use ricotta cheese, or you could do a different fat in here. You could make, I just had an idea, peanut butter cheesecake. That would be really good. I'm going to take my crust out early. It should stay in there just a little bit longer, but for time's sake, I'm just going to pull it out. It'll be fine. It'll still taste really good. Is this recipe in your Cooking with Joy cookbook? Yes, it is. It's on page 173 of my Cooking with Joy, or it's in my volume 2 cookbook. I don't know what pages it is on there. Is this in the Blee cookbook? It's not in the official Blee cookbook by Susan Pierce Thompson. It's in the cookbooks I wrote myself with Blee compliant recipes. It's in my Cooking with Joy cookbook, or it's in my volume 2 cookbook, Weight Loss Recipes for Bright Lines Cookbook. You can find them on my website. That's www.weightlossrecipesforbrightlinescookbook.com, and you can check out all my things. I have new cookbooks and new exciting surprises coming up. This video, I'll post it on there after this. Okay. It's in Natalie All's cookbook, which is fabulous. Oh, thank you, Chris. Did you add the Greek yogurt? I didn't see you do that. I did add the Greek yogurt. I added the 2 ounces. I was probably rambling while I was doing that. So I have 2 ounces Greek yogurt in there. Okay. What temp did you cook the crust on? I cooked the crust at 350, and I'm going to pull it out a little early, but you can cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to pull that out really quick. So then we can pour our yogurt mixture in it. Turn the timer off. So this is what it looks like. It's sizzling. So it's not completely hard yet. You could leave it in there longer. You could leave it in there till it's almost crispy. But I don't know how long that would be. And I'm not sure if it would burn. I've only done it about 10 to 15 minutes. Lois said it's volume 2, page 93. She knows exactly what page. Thank you. What meal can we have this? This is originally a lunch meal, but you could have it for breakfast because you can swap a fat portion for a grain portion, but not the other way around. So you could have this for breakfast and then just top it with 1 ounce fruit. Or this is originally a lunch recipe, but it's up to you what you want to have it for. Luann. Oh, thank you, Luann. Luann said she loves my recipes. You're so nice. Thank you. Okay, so you can let this cool a little bit before you pour your yogurt mixture in, or you can pour it in when it's hot. Either way works perfectly fine. So I'm going to take my spatula and pour my yogurt mixture. Move this over. Okay. You want every little bit of yummy goodness in there. Okay. Then we're going to bake this for about 20 minutes. It'll still have a slight jiggle when it's done. So it should look like this. I can't really tilt it because it'll pour out. So I'm going to put this back in my oven, back at 350, and we're going to cook this for about 20 minutes. And then we'll check it, see if it's too much of a jiggle. You want just a little bit of a jiggle, and then the top should be a little bit browned. And then I'll show you once it's done, and then you'll see what I mean. Put this in 20 minutes. Now while that's baking, we can work on our chickpea cinnamon rolls. So I was going to make a little video of this and just record it and have my sister edit it because she's amazing at those things. But my crust turned out a little soggy, like I've heard some of you have happened. So I'm going to show you some tricks on how to get it just right or as close as we can. So if we mess up, at least we'll mess up together. Okay, so I'm going to move some things. I'm going to grab a napkin. So this recipe is also a lunch recipe. Let's look at it. And this is from, I think it's in my volume 2 cookbook also, because I'll tell you a little trick that I did. So in the recipe index of my Cooking with Joy, let me show you. I have these spaces here, and that's where the volumes, where it's the next volume of my cookbook. Except for like dinner, and a couple times I didn't. So sometimes you can look at it like that. Sometimes I didn't. I wasn't very consistent with that. Anyways, we're going to make the apple chickpea cinnamon rolls. It's on page 165. So we're going to use chickpeas again. Oh, and it's at the same temperature, so you can preheat your oven to 350. And now we are going to mix all of our ingredients together except our apples. Because you can make this with banana, you could make this just plain without the fruit and have the fruit on the side. So we're gonna start out by blending our chickpeas. I'm gonna grab a new bowl. You can use, again, you could just use a fork and mash it up, or you can use a regular blender, whatever you have on hand. All right, so we're gonna do 3 ounces of chickpeas. 2.5. 3 ounces. Oops, 3.1. You want 3. Perfect, 3 ounces. Oh, Nikki said it's page 80 in volume 2. So if you have the single volumes, it's page 80 on volume 2. Thank you, Nikki, for looking that up. You guys are just so sweet. It's so fun to just see all the people, all the new people to our recipe page. They'll post questions and everybody is so nice to answer them, and they answer them with love and kindness. Even if they do something wrong, they're always just so gentle at saying, oh, just letting you know you did that wrong, or it's just so fun to see our little Blee family. Okay, so I'm going to use my hand blender again, and we're going to blend these. Hopefully this time they don't shoot out like they did before. So I'm going to turn it down to minimum. I got chickpeas flinging everywhere. I have found that the organic chickpeas are a little bit harder, and they're not as smushy as other canned chickpeas. Because a friend of mine gave me some cans of chickpeas. They love me. And they weren't organic, but they were perfectly fine ingredients. No sugar, no flour. But they were like smushier. They were softer than the organic. So that could be another factor in having your chickpea dough get kind of stuck to your parchment paper when you're trying to roll it up. Okay, so they're a little bit blended. I'm going to use my fork and just mash it a little bit more, because we want all the chickpeas broken up. We don't want any really big pieces. And another reason your chickpea dough might stick is your peanut butter might be really soft and drizzly. Oh no, Sue is having a problem clicking on the live video. I'm not sure, Sue. Maybe refresh your page, or go to my weight loss page and try watching from there. I hope she can hear me. Okay, so we got everything broken up. So usually when I do my chickpea mixture, it's not crumbly like this. So I don't know if this can of chickpeas, they were a little dry. Usually it's more of a smushy texture. So you never know what you're gonna get when you open a can. Oh good, Sue, you got it. Yay, welcome, Sue. Sue, you are so sweet. I saw your comment that you said, I set an alarm. Everybody set an alarm. Then you'll know when it's time to watch the video. It's so fun having you here. Okay, so we have our chickpeas. Now we're going to mix in an ounce of peanut butter. Here's my peanut butter. This peanut butter, I just randomly went to Target. I usually don't go to Target, but they had this peanut butter there. It's organic, just nuts, which is really nice. And it's really drizzly. So we'll see how this turns out. So we want 1 ounce of peanut butter. So I'm going to zero my scale. Oh, the bottom's a little thicker. I might take from the bottom because we don't want our mixture too sticky. 1 ounce of peanut butter. So we got 0.6. You could use almond butter. That might work too, because I know the almond butter I've gotten is a little bit of a thicker texture. There we go, 1 ounce. Then we want to do 1 ounce of banana. I'm going to grab another banana. Another reason your dough might stick to the parchment paper is maybe your banana is a little bit too ripe. there is such thing as that. I didn't think there was. But I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not sure. I've only tried this a couple times, so. 1 ounce banana. 0 the scale. It's too much. There we go, 1 ounce. Then we're going to do a pinch of baking soda. A pinch of baking powder. You can skip these, but since it's just a pinch, this doesn't trigger me or make me want to binge. Danae, you want to buy my recipe books? Can you send them to Mexico? I can ship my cookbooks to Mexico. Now, I'm not sure if it'll be like international shipping or it'll be more shipping costs like Canada. Canada, their shipping's a little bit less than the international shipping, but more than just US shipping. But you can look, and then once you get to the cart on my website, it'll give you options for the shipping and let you know. You can find them on my website. I'm going to comment my website in the bottom, and then you can find it. It's loss recipes for Bright Lines Cookbook.com. You can find my cookbooks there, and then they'll give you all these different shipping options. Okay, so we got our pinches of baking soda, baking powder. We're going to do a pinch of sea salt, or 2, pinch or 2 of sea salt if you want a little saltier. And then a splash of vanilla extract. Why? I was asking myself, or I was just thinking this, I'm like, why is it when you add a little bit of salt to your oatmeal that it seems to make your oatmeal really sweeter? And then I was watching this cooking video, and this lady said that when you add salt to like fruit, it brings out the sweetness of it. So that's why when you add salt to like muffins or cookies or things you bake, that it makes them a little bit sweeter. So we are going to mash, we're going to lightly mash our banana. We don't want it too smushy because we want our dough mixture to be kind of thick. So just lightly mash, spilling everywhere, but that's okay. We're going to lightly mash everything and mix everything together. And this is good. My peanut butter is nice and thick because I pulled it from the bottom. I think this texture is going to be perfect because the last time I made it, I rolled my dough too thin and then my texture was kind of sticky. Oh, you're welcome, Danae. Sorry if that's not how you pronounce your name. It's so pretty of a spelling. Okay, so this is what your dough should look like. It should be a little bit sticky and really thick. Okay, so now we need to make room because now we're going to roll it out and use some parchment paper. I'm going to put this book over here. Need to make room. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some parchment paper. And this is where the little bit of technique comes in. Hi, Bruno. Hi from Erin, Ontario. I'm thinking that's Ontario, Canada, or ON. So US state, ON. Trying to think if that's a US state, I'm not sure. So Bruno, is that a US state or are you from Ontario, Canada? Okay, so we have our 2 pieces of parchment paper. So now we're going to plop our dough onto our parchment paper. Oh, Sue from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Hi in Canada. I'm your state neighbor. I'm in Minnesota, right underneath Canada. It's so fun. Okay, so we're going to plop this right on there. want to get every little bit, because we know with bright line eating, we don't leave anything behind. Bruno, oh, it is Canada. Hi, Bruno in Ontario, Canada. And then we have Julie from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Is that Quebec? QC, is that Quebec? You used a hand blender too sticky. Oh, Nikki said she used a hand blender and it was too sticky. So I'm going to spread it on parchment paper with my spatula and not sandwich it. That's a great idea. That might help. And then maybe a reason it's sticking is it's too blended. Maybe it's just has to be just slightly blended and mixed. Just thinking out loud. So I'm going to take my other piece of parchment paper and put it on top of my mixture. Here we go. So now I'm going to grab a roller. And we're just going to roll this because we want it kind of thin, but not too thin. Because if it's too thin, I did that the last time and it didn't work out very well. But we want to make it a rectangle or like an oblong shape. Oh, it is Quebec. Oh, so fun having you here. If you guys have any suggestions of what recipes we should try next, we could try a brand new recipe. I bought a papaya and I found some really yummy recipes to make with that. So it doesn't, if you've ever gotten a papaya, you know it has a little bit of like a barf smell, but it doesn't taste like that. It's got a little zing after it, but I found some recipes that get rid of that and it tasted really good. I can't even explain the taste of the papaya because it's unlike any fruit I've had before. It was really yummy. And then I froze the rest so we can cook again with it because I don't like to let things go to waste. Okay, so we have our mixture and it's about, it looks like this. Can you see about the thinness of it? So it's pretty thin and I think this is going to work really well. So now what we want to do is when we peel, we're going to peel our top parchment paper off. So you're not just going to pick it up, you're going to gently peel it. Lois, oh, you like this roller? I've had this forever. I'm not sure where we got it. It's just been in this drawer since I've grown up. Probably it might have been my grandma's or my dad's. I'm not sure. It's really old and it's wood and we've used it for everything. Okay, so now we're going to peel. Oh, it's perfect. The last time I did it too thin. So, okay, I found the trick. This is what is happening. When you use a hand blender too much and blend all the things together, because that's what I did the last time. I did the banana and the peanut butter and all the seasonings and then I blended it. It was too blended. You got to have a little bit of texture to it because look at that. It peeled off perfectly. Maureen, a pampered chef roller. Ooh, that sounds fancy. So here's the texture. It's perfect. It peeled off perfect. It didn't leave all of it on my second piece of parchment paper. This is working out great. Okay, so let's look at the cookbook. What are we doing next? Now we're going to sprinkle all of our dough. I just left my brain for a second there. Okay, we're going to sprinkle our dough mixture with a liberal amount of cinnamon. We want it very just coated with a nice coat of cinnamon because this is what's going to make it really taste good. So everything should be just lightly coated with cinnamon. I have found there is such thing as too much cinnamon and too much garlic. There is a point to that. So it should look like this. Everything's nicely coated with cinnamon. Okay, now we're going to make these. I found when you add the fruit, it's a little easier rolling it up than just doing it the plain, but you can do it just like this and have fruit on the side. Or I'm going to cut up, how much fruit are we going to do? We're going to do 5 ounces of apple And we're going to put them in here because they cook really nicely inside and it tastes very good with the peanut butter in our dough. Oh, Marina's saying that this is from Pampered Chef. Oh my goodness. That is so cool that you knew that. This was probably from when we used to get catalogs. Remember when you would get catalogs in the mail? Catalogs from JCPenney. So she said this is from Pampered Chef. Now I feel like my kitchen is so fancy. Now I have Pampered Chef in here. Okay, back to what we were doing. Oh, we want 5 ounces of apple. So instead of dirtying another bowl, I'm just going to put this parchment paper and slice some apple and put it on top there. So I'm going to grab a cutting board, move my crust over. This is just some vinegar water that I wash my fruit in. Oh, Sue says Pampered Chef does house parties. That would be fun. Have a Believe Pampered Chef house party. But no hors d'oeuvres or snacks at those parties. But that's okay, because then you get to enjoy the company and the party and the funness. Okay, so we want 5 ounces. So I'm not going to dice this yet. I'm just going to get 5 ounces of apple, and then we'll dice it after. Three, 4, one more small apple. Oh, I can smell that cheesecake cooking in the oven and it smells heavenly. Okay, so we got 5 ounces of our apple. So now we're going to make kind of large chunks, but not too large because when we roll it up, we don't want them too small. So we want chunks about like this. You can make them bigger or smaller, however you want to do it. And then let's dice this all first, then we'll place them on our chickpea crust. Because if you dice it too thin, then you'll have too many apples. Okay. If you have any like special baking tools you like to use, or even cooking utensils that are like your favorite, that are kind of like secretive, like, ooh, this is the newest thing, let me know in the comments, because I'm always on a search for cool kitchen gadgets or kitchen-y things to use, because they're always so fun. Okay, so now we're going to place our apples on our chickpea crust. Now we want to kind of space them because it's going to roll. And we're going to make, I'm going to fit 3 sections of roll, so we're going to make 3 rows of apples. Oh, I have one more section to cut. Oh, let's check our cheesecake while we let this sit. This will be fine here. So I'm going to check the cheesecake, and if it's done, I'll show you. Oop, it is not done. It is too jiggly, so I'm going to put it on for 10 more minutes. You can tell because the center of it was really liquidy, and we want it just to have a slightly jiggle. And it was not done enough. I think it was because the frozen strawberries were right in the middle. So I put it on for another 10 minutes. So now we're going to finish off our apples. And if we have too many apples to fit in our crust, we'll just have them on the side. That's the fun part. Okay, so now here's the next tricky part to the chickpeas, cinnamon rolls. I might put one more apple slice here. And one more right here. Okay, so now this is where we get to roll in. So we're going to pull our roll here. This is really embarrassing. I'm going to run and use the restroom, and I'll be right back. Hold on, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had a big coffee, a big black coffee before we started, and I thought to myself, oh no, I'll be fine, that'll be fine. And then I knew, I'm like, oh no, you can't cook when you have to use the restroom. Sue, it's called keeping it real. I love you guys. You're so nice. Okay, I washed my hands. We're all nice and clean as we were. You never know what's gonna happen when you do a live video. Okay. All right, so back to rolling. So this is where it gets the tricky part. So now so let me show you what we're working with. Can you see here? So I have about that much space here before my apple starts because we're gonna start the roll with that. So we're going to just start rolling it. And then the trick is not to just pull your parchment paper off, but again, we're gonna peel it slightly back. Have you ever put a screen protector on a phone? It's kind of that same motion where you're peeling and pushing as you're going. So, and if it sticks a little bit, you can press it back down and then you can rub the top of your parchment paper just a little bit and it'll get the parchment paper to kind of separate from your dough. So if you can see that, I'm going to bring you in closer here because you need to see this. Will it let me zoom in? Oh, it will. Kelly. That's my sister Kelly watching and she's laughing at me. It's okay, I'm laughing at myself too. Okay, so I zoomed you in so you can see this because this is the rolling technique. So we have our first roll here. Do you see this where we have this first thing on top? So now we're going to lift it up again and get it to roll again. Like Sue said, I'm just keeping it real. This is what happens when you're cooking at home too, you know? Sometimes you have to go and use the restroom. Okay, so then I'm gonna just gently rub it a little bit and we're gonna peel it back again. So see how I take this, just this empty part, and you want to have a downward pull motion. And then watch really closely, make sure nothing's coming with it. Nice and clean. If there's something with it on there, you'll want to push it back down. My mom said she heard me running down the hall. Then John, my brother, he's here too, he's on his computer. She said he came into her room and said I was in the bathroom. And that this is the first time this has ever happened on live. Well, if it's the first, well, at least we're cooking together and it's always exciting.
Can I come in and dance on there?
John! My brother said he was gonna come in and entertain you and do some dancing. Okay. I almost was gonna tell him, John, go in there and talk to them about something, but what would he talk to you about? He doesn't cook at all. Okay, and he doesn't do blee either. He just eats whatever we make him. Oh my goodness. It's entertaining, right? Afternoon entertainment. You never know what's gonna happen. Okay, so we did another roll. We pulled it up and rolled it again. You can kind of feel it with your apples as you're going. So then we're gonna pull this back. And I thought to myself, oh, I can wait until we're done. I can wait until we're done cooking. And then I'm like, nope. Bruno, he said I'm a pioneer. See, we're doing first things all together. All right, so here's our last roll. Okay, so this is our last roll. So now we're gonna pull it back like so. This one turned out beautiful. I was kind of hoping it'd be a little bit like stickier so then I could show you some tips, but this turned out just perfect. Maybe the tip is organic chickpeas. Okay, so now I'm gonna zoom back out because we did our technique. Okay, you're back with me. Okay, so one lady from Australia, she said that she will sandwich them together and bake that a little bit. If it's too much of a sticky mixture, she'll bake it first for just a couple minutes and then it peels off really nicely because I bet it dries it out just enough. So I'm gonna leave this roll on here, just like this. I'm gonna leave that there. You can, optional, you can cut between your rows of apples here. So I'm gonna do that. Maureen suggested that maybe spray the parchment paper before you put your dough on there, and then it'll come off easier. That's a great suggestion. Or maybe because, you know, bakers, they'll sprinkle all their things with flour to make it not stick. Well, you could sprinkle it with cinnamon and then not have the inside cinnamon. Top. That would work too. But I like that spray. That's a good idea. Okay, so I have my pan here. My laptop. Okay, so then we're just going to leave this on this parchment paper, and we're going to put the whole thing on our pan. I have nowhere to put this pan. Okay, here we go. We're just going to place the whole thing on there, and then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut between my rows of apples. So you kind of want to remember, oh yeah, I had a row of apple, another row of apple, because we want rolls, or you could make a roll, just one. Oh, Sue has to leave, but she'll watch the rest later. Bye, Sue. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you later, I guess. You'll get to see what happens next. You never know what's going to come up when you do a live cooking show. Somebody comes in the room, falls over things. Maybe I'll have to use the bathroom again. You never know. Anyways, so we're going to cut between. I can feel there's apple there. This is not going well. So I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to score it just a little bit, and we're going to bake it because it's a little bit too sticky to get my knife in between there. So I do have apple left over. You could bake the apple with it or just have the raw apple on the side. I'm going to bake the apple with it, and I'm going to sprinkle my apple, put it right on the parchment paper, my little apple slices that I had left over. And I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of more cinnamon. You could do nutmeg too. You could do pumpkin pie spice. I think there's apple pie spice. But I'm going to do some cinnamon. You could do nutmeg and ginger. All right. So now we're going to put this in the oven. Let's see how long we cook this. Roll everything up. We did that. You can cut it into separate rolls. I'm not going to do that because I think my apple chunks were just a little bit too big. Because see this one right here? My apple's kind of sticking out, but it'll bake really nicely. And then we're going to cook this for 20 to 25 minutes. You can tell when it's done because it'll be nice and browned. So I'm going to put this in the oven, check on our cheesecake, and see if that's done. So let's put this in there. Oh, perfect timing. And let's check on our cheesecake. Aha, perfection. It's got a slight jiggle. Set the timer for 20. We'll see how that works. Okay. So here's our cheesecake. It's got just a little bit of a jiggle. You can see that little watery is just from my strawberry. Look, it's like a little smiley face, a cyclops smiley face. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to let this cool for about, Epicure has gingerbread spice. Ooh, Bruno says that Epicure has gingerbread spice and it's so good. That does sound really good. I'm going to have to try that. Or I've done it where I Google spice recipes. I made my own chai spice. I've made my own pumpkin pie spice. And it's just how you blend your recipes or how much of each seasoning you put together. So you could Google that and make your own or find it. So we're going to let this cool and then we're going to refrigerate this. The worst part is the best texture and the best flavor is when you refrigerate it overnight. So this will be lunch tomorrow. But that's okay because patience, when you have to wait for it, then it tastes even better. So we're going to set this aside. And while our chickpeas are cooking, let's make something else because I want to show you the rolls when they're done. And they got about 20 minutes to cook. So I'm going to set this aside to cool. And let me look through my recipes. What should we make while we're waiting? Maybe you have a suggestion. Let me look what I have in my new recipes. I have them all put together. I made for lunch today, I had almond joy chia pudding. That was really yummy. I want to make something that we don't have to bake. That it's just easy and quick because we only got 20 minutes. Let's make a mango raspberry chia pudding. That should be quick. I'm going to tilt this up just a tish. So we're going to make a mango raspberry, or what else do we got? Let's do a pumpkin pie overnight oats. I have some canned pumpkin that I've been wanting to use. So let's do that, and that'll be breakfast for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to grab a can of pumpkins, some oats. We got Greek yogurt again, 2 ounces coffee or water. I have some coffee brewed already. Maple or almond extract. I think I'm going to do the maple extract because I think I used up my almond extract. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, sea salt, banana, pumpkin puree or canned pumpkin. And that's it. And then you get 3/4 protein in the morning on the side because this has 1/4 protein. So let's do that. This will be fun. We're just going to make this up as we go. Let me grab my pumpkin. Here it is. And I'm going to grab some oats. Okay. I'm going to grab a cute little bowl. This one and my maple extract. Okay. So we're going to do our 3 ounces of banana. I'm going to move this over so then, there we go. Try that again. Bruno, yes, you can watch this after once it's done airing live and like the live video is over. Then you can watch it again and you can fast forward, you can rewind, you can start at the beginning, you can start at the middle. So this will be available after. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube page and my Facebook page and my website. Or it'll already be on my Facebook page. It'll be on this recipe page. And it'll be on my website, on my YouTube page. I'm going to put it everywhere so then you can find it again and cook again. And then you can fast forward all the embarrassing parts. Even though those are pretty entertaining. Okay, so we're going to do 3 ounces of banana. I had banana left over, so I have my bowl. I'm going to put it on my scale. We're going to do 3 ounces. You're welcome, Bruno. Thanks for joining us today. 2.6. I'm going to need 1 more banana. It's so fun seeing some of our Blee guys on our website, on Facebook and all these sites, because usually you see a lot of women, but it's nice to see some Blee guys. And Bruno, I've seen your before and after pictures just now of your face before and during right now, and you look fabulous. You're doing so great. It's surprising to see the huge change that goes through all of your face and your body and everything when you lose weight. It's just so fun. Okay, so we have our 3 ounces banana. Now I'm going to mash this. I'm going to grab a new fork to mash this with. We're going to mash up our banana nice and soft. You could use an apple and shred it instead if you don't like bananas. Or I know I see some ladies on the recipe site that are taking a break from bananas, which is perfectly fine. You could use whatever other type of fruit you want to sweeten this because pumpkin's not very sweet. All right, so we have our 3 ounces of mashed banana. So now we're going to do 1 ounce of oats. Oh, that's too much. We just want 1 ounce. Okay, 1 ounce of uncooked oats. These are just organic rolled oats. Whatever oats you have would probably work just fine. Then we're going to do 2 ounces plain Greek yogurt. You could use a plant-based yogurt. You could use a milk instead. Or you could skip this step and just put more, you could do water or just a different liquid if you're dairy intolerant. We went to this grocery store to get some groceries, and I just bought my first coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk. Hannah is watching. Hi, Hannah. Thanks for joining. I used up this yogurt. I'm going to grab another yogurt because we're only at 1.5. Let's see. Here it is. And I'm going to grab the coconut milk because I'm going to add, this is the coconut milk I found. Maybe you vegan or plant-based or you people who don't do dairy know of like a better brand. This was the only one I found. And all it has, there's no sugar, no flour, no sweeteners. Of course no flour because it's coconut milk. There's flour and coconut milk. I don't know what brand you're getting. Okay. 2 ounces. I just found out that unsweetened coconut flakes can be treated like a nut, and you can do 2 ounces as a protein also, not just a fat. I really like shredded coconut, and you can't really, if you want oats for breakfast, you don't want to have oats and then switch out your fat, then you can't have the oats. But now that it's a protein, changed my life forever. Bruno, I feel like I need to buy stocks and bananas. Thanks so much. 30 pounds is still going. 60 pounds between my wife and I. My wife is doing the GRIT program with Susan and Everett. Congratulations on 30 pounds. If you think about it, 1 pound is 4 sticks of butter. So just multiply that times 30. I'm not even going to do the math because I'm not going to think that far. But congratulations, and you and your wife are doing it together. That is so great. I'm not sure what this GRIT program is. Is it like another boot camp, or I'm not exactly sure. I've heard about it going around, and I thought it was like this uplifting to help you out thing. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 ounces of coconut milk, and this will be 1/4 of a protein. So then in the morning, we'll only side it with half of a protein. So we're going to do 2 ounces coconut milk. One, two. Perfect. It's always so fun to see family doing it together, like a husband and wife, or a sister and mother, or daughter, or sisters, or what am I getting? Oh yeah, we're doing the coffee. It's so fun because then you have that support right in your house with you. We're going to do, how much coffee? We're going to do 2 ounces coffee, or you could use water. I just really like the flavor that coffee gives it. It's just a slight bit of flavor and it doesn't overpower everything. I think I'm going to do 1.5 because I added the coconut milk. And we don't want it too watery. Then we're going to do a splash of maple extract, just a splash. Drop or 2. Then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon. I'm not sure where I got this slidey measuring thing either, but it's one of my favorite things now. I found one at my local Dollar General, and guess how much it was? $1. It's not as easy to slide, but you don't have to get all these measuring spoons out. You just have one. It's kind of nice. Bruno said the GRIT program is like boot camp, and it's focusing on crisis response during COVID, getting to know your parts. Ooh, that sounds like a great program. All right, so we want to do 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. That's great, because I've heard a lot of people are struggling through this whole crisis and just stress eating, and I've even found myself that not even just from stress but from my schedule just being changed and not going out as much as I'm used to and just not having all the social I'm used to, that has kind of wonked my eating just a little bit, not in sugar and flour, but just like quantities where I'm like, oh, I'm at home, nobody cares, an eighth here, an eighth there, but I'm back on where being very strict with it and just exact. Okay, then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. Let me grab my ginger and allspice. We need ginger and allspice. Find my ginger. Allspice. How much ginger are we doing? We're doing a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. And then we're going to do a pinch of allspice, because it overpowers everything if you do more than a pinch. There we go. And then a pinch of sea salt. Okay. Then what are we going to do? We did our 3 ounces banana. Now we're going to do 3 ounces of pumpkin. Zero the scale. I think you could use just your own pumpkin that you have. It might be a little bit of a different texture, so you might want to puree it, but usually it's canned pumpkin. We want 3 ounces of it, and this will be half of our fruit, because you can swap fruit for veggies, so then I just count it as my fruit. Then it just makes it easier for doing the recipe in my brain. So now we're going to mix this all together. Smells like pumpkin pie. So yummy. Get it all nice and mixed. Have any of you tried any overnight oats or chia puddings that are your favorite combinations of flavor? I think my favorite so far has been just the strawberries. I did 6 ounces of frozen strawberries with oats, and the flavor of that was just so good. And then I did a papaya one because I had all this papaya. So I Pinterested and I looked up all these papaya recipes, and somebody had this papaya bliss. It had all this random stuff in it. So I just took the parts that I wanted and I made a papaya bliss overnight oats. That was really yummy. Okay, so we have this all mixed together. This is what it looks like. It's a little runny, but it'll thicken overnight, so I can't really tilt it. But this is what it looks like. So I'm going to cover this with cellophane and put it in my fridge, and then we'll check on our chickpea cinnamon rolls, see how they're coming along. They should be almost done here. Let's check on those first, and then if there's time, then we'll cover this, or I can do it later. So let's check on them. 4 minutes left. They look done enough for right now. I'll take them out and show you. They smell heavenly, and the baked apples. So here's our chickpea. Oh, I need another oven mitt. This is hot. Okay. Here we go. It's a warm one. It needs to. So here's our chickpea cinnamon rolls. They're done. You could cook them longer if you want them more of a tougher or crispier texture. So these are just a little bit soft to touch, but they're nice and done. And see, the top is like nice and flaky. And then we have our baked apples on the side. So this would be a lunch. And then you would side this with a fat and vegetables for a complete lunch. Maureen said she made both the chia puddings and overnight oats, and she loves the spice. Oh, you love the spice Gram Marsala. I've never heard of that. It sounds really good though. Is it kind of like a curry taste or like a Indian cuisine kind of taste? The Gram Masala? That sounds really good. So here we have our chickpea cinnamon rolls. I'll show you the cheesecake again. It's nice and cool. So you can see the middle of it. The middle of it has thickened just a little bit. It's not as runny or jiggly anymore. So then you're going to refrigerate this overnight. Then you'll top it with 1 ounce of fruit, or you could have the ounce of fruit on the side if you want. I like to do frozen strawberries, and then I microwave them for about a minute or two, because then it gets really nice and juicy, and then you put that on top, and then you eat it with a spoon right out of the dish, and it's just delicious. So you could refrigerate this 4 hours to overnight. And that is about it. I have some exciting news. Oh, it is an Indian cuisine. I've always wanted to try a curry dish. I have curry powder just in like our seasonings, and I'm gonna Google some recipes on those, or maybe you have a favorite curry recipe. I know there's a curry recipe in the official Brightline cookbook, which I have made. My sister bought it, and it's amazing. We really like the peanut butter jelly breakfast roll, the frozen breakfast roll. That's one of our favorites. That's really good. So I have some exciting news. I am just finishing up. It's going to go to the editing process now, my volume 7 cookbook. So I have 6 cookbooks, and then my big 1 through 5 cookbook, Cooking with Joy. And then I have my whole food, plant-based, vegan, vegetarian cookbook. And that is almost done being published. It's in the publishing process. I publish through Barnes & Noble, so they show me the little process bar. It's almost done. And then I'll order the first set of those books, and then your cookbooks will be shipped to you that have pre-ordered. You can pre-order those. You can find them on my website. I'll put a comment, or I'll comment the website in the comments below, or it's just weight loss recipes for brightlinescookbook.com. I know it's a long web address, but that's what it is. Thanks for watching and cooking with me, guys, and for being so nice when things happen when you're doing live videos. It's always exciting. Life is so fun, and it's so much more enjoyable eating this way, being free from food, and getting to be with all of you guys from all over the world and even close by. It's always so fun. Thanks for cooking with me, and if you can think of like more recipe things that maybe we should do the next time we do a cooking video, like maybe we should do a saute thing, or overnight oats, or whatever you can think of, because the cheesecake recipe, somebody suggested, hey, can you make the cheesecake recipe? We can do that. How much yogurt? Gail, we did 2 ounces of yogurt in the cheesecake and 2 ounces of yogurt in the overnight oats. Once we're done with the live video, you can always go back and watch it again and see all the recipes again. And you can fast forward things when I do embarrassing things, but it makes life fun. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for cooking with me. We'll see you later. With joy, Natalie.